Hello, this is Tim Broadwater, and my limited research review for literature is design's impact on the LGBTQQIA community. An introduction to this is that I think that design, be it whatever type of design it is, can have a negative and positive impact on a community or an idea, and then thereby potentially affect its perception, communication, and interaction. A good example of this is the LGBTQQIA community, which stands for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, and ally community. So in order to see design's positive and negative impact on a community, I want to look at symbol design, response-based design, anti-violence design, and perception and social change through design as it affects this community. So first, looking at symbol design, one of the most memorable symbols I think for this community is started by the Nazi Party in World War II, which is the pink triangle. And it was one of the concentration camp badges that was used to signify homosexuals, and you can see here on the left and in the bottom the different type of symbols that were used for the badges, and people actually wearing them in the concentration camp. Well, this kind of in turn gets reclaimed by the community and is used, taken as a negative and transformed into a positive. So it's used for book covers, t-shirts, events, things of that nature. Kind of looking at other symbols, a little bit of history first. The Stonewall riots in 1969 in New York City occurred because gay people were not allowed to meet or organize in public places. So what we see is after those riots took place, within the next 10 years, we see the rise of a symbol that is what's kind of commonly known today as the rainbow flag or the gay flag, which isn't specifically unique to the gay culture, but is something that was kind of co-opted in the 80s and now is used in many different ways, as in flags and t-shirts and clothing, and then you can even see kind of it integrated with the pink triangle in some degree. Another symbol that is an example of design's effect on a community is the Human Rights Campaign symbol, and you may have seen this symbol before. It was developed in 1995, and it represents equality, and it's now spread to an international recognition. So going forward to look at response-based design and how it affects positively and negatively a community, we have to kind of look at a couple different things first, which is DADT, Don't Ask, Don't Tell, DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, and Proposition 8, or Prop 8. Because of these three specific things, negative and positive design kind of was developed in their aftermath. For example, for Don't Ask, Don't Tell, here's an example of design from Dignity and Respect, which is the U.S. Army's training guide. Also, we see within 2010 a graphic that kind of represents where people want to vote on that aspect of if Don't Ask, Don't Tell should be repealed. Looking at DOMA, or the Defense of Marriage Act, on the left we see pro-DOMA imagery, which is kind of used from Holy Matrimony and the Family Policy Council, and on the right we see the repeal DOMA kind of aesthetics and the coalitions and all the imagery that's been affected there. We also see something like the DOMA Project, which is an example of positive impact of design feeding into an organization and a campaign. Also, when we look at Prop 8, we see pro and con imagery here that's developed for use for buttons and t-shirts to raise awareness about Proposition 8 in California and to get people to repeal it, be aware of it, and this kind of spreads across the gamut from many different groups and religious groups, coalitions, things of that nature. One of the more popular ones is probably the No Hate campaign, where it's a series of design-based photographs where the logo is written on the person's cheek, and then there's a piece of tape usually that covers their mouth to represent equality through education and advocacy. They originally started out as celebrities and political figures, being in these photographs, but then actually transformed into everyday people, and it's growing and growing to this day. So then kind of looking at anti-violence design and how that's affected the community. First, looking first at the Westboro Baptist Church, and then kind of looking in response to this religious group, we see Planting Peace, which is this global group for peace that actually purchased the house across from the Westboro Baptist Church, is their base of operations, and they actually painted it the rainbow aesthetic. Planting Peace, however, works with many different causes nationally and internationally, apart from just the Equality House. We also see the Get Spreader project, which is really more towards anti-bullying, and the mission was to communicate to the community that it gets better, and to inspire change and create awareness. And so through purchasing products that has the logo on it, that actually allows the organization to donate books and literature that creates awareness to public schools. And if you've seen It Gets Better videos, they're featured in those videos everything from the president to stars and actors and the Broadway community and businesses like Facebook, Google, or Pixar. Also, we see the Trevor Project, which has a positive impact on the community. And this is more so about crisis intervention and suicide prevention for gay youths that have a very high risk for suicide rate. And this aesthetic of the advertisements features different people and stories about why they're glad their suicide attempt failed. So then looking at design, perception, and social change through design, looking at AWA. AWA is for a community in the Middle East that doesn't have the avenue to communicate, and like Jamaica or a lot of Middle Eastern countries, you can be killed publicly for being homosexual. So this is a website outlet to have people connect to each other, share ideas, and express concerns or get problems answered. So this is kind of looking at a systemic, kind of design resolution for people who don't have a lot of options. Then, if we kind of look at Amendment 1 in North Carolina, which was an amendment to define marriage as one man and one woman, we can kind of look at a collaboration that took place between New Kind and the Coalition to Protect All North Carolina Families, and they started this all advertising campaign to create awareness for a 5-month period before the amendment was to be voted on, which is a great example of design affecting perception of a community. Also recently, if we look at the Human Rights Campaign and how they championed people on Facebook during the U.S. Supreme Court discussions of same-sex marriage, you can see all of the different profile images that everyone changed during the course of that week. There are many things from Bert and Ernie to Batman to Grumpy Cat, and the interesting thing is there's been a lot of research done by Facebook as well as other people about during that week period, you can actually map the people who changed their profiles, what age groups or sex they were, and 120% more people, which is 2.7 million people, changed their avatars in that week just to support same-sex marriage, which is a systemic positive impact of design from the Human Rights Campaign for same-sex marriage. Another example is a project where Column 5, a design firm, worked with Good, a community organization, to take pulled data from ABC and translated into an infographic design, which actually references how mentality has changed about gay marriages from the 1996 to last year, 2011, which is a pretty positive impact and pretty informative about how change is, shifting attitudes on gay marriage and the thought of it. So that's kind of looking at the LGBTQQIAA community and how design can positively or negatively impact a community, and here is my bibliography of sources. Thank you for your time.